Alright, and we're live. How's everyone doing? Back with another live stream from the villa. Let me know if you can hear me and see me all okay. And let's get straight into this, because this is going to be a very, very good live stream. So, here we go. Bitcoin is just trying to peak above its previous all-time high. We're challenging $64,000 right now. It's spent a long time not setting, new highs. We're now up to about 2 weeks in, which definitely makes this a very sizable correction. I would have loved for it to dip a little bit lower, but that's okay. The fact that we haven't, I still think that we're in a very, very good place where this stands at the minute. Unfortunately, I can't see my live chat, so let me pull this up on my phone and just monitor what's going on here. Oh, apparently this live stream is set to be made for children. Let me fix that. Oh no. Well, no live chat today.
Just end it, start again.
I can't start it again. Alright, well, if you guys have questions, you know how to reach me on Telegram. Reach out down there. Wow, I'm really doing a live stream for children today. You know what? No, I do need to restart this. Is there any way to edit this?
You have to restart it. I think you can edit it.
You can't edit it when the live stream has started, can you?
No.
How do you know?
You can. It's just a fucking option. It's just common sense. You can edit a live stream.
Alright, this is a children's live stream. Here we go. That's fine. Well, I'll just roll with the analysis then. I don't want to make this one super long anyway. What I'm seeing with Bitcoin here, let's jump into my analysis, and as you have questions for this live stream, shoot them to me on Telegram and I will get to them for you. So make sure you smash up those likes as we're coming in here. This is going to be a good one and a short one. I want to outline for you where I'm seeing some of these potential areas of resistance for Bitcoin. Obviously, this is the next key thing to be discussing in this market right now, is where is resistance right here, because that's going to give us an indication of how Bitcoin may struggle to rise higher, or how easy it's going to have in terms of its time getting to these higher levels. So I'm just going to wait for this to load a little bit. Bear with me, because in Dubai the Wi-Fi is absolutely laughable. Just give it a little bit more. And actually, just off the top of my head, the key resistance areas are at about $64,000. Then we're getting another one at 65, which was our previous all-time high from back in about May of this year. You'll see it right now on this chart, and so that's where I would be expecting a little bit of a challenge for Bitcoin. We've actually already encountered the key area of resistance that I had drawn out with this red box. Why is this resistance? It is because Bitcoin previously consolidated right here as it was setting the new all-time high just before breaking the previous all-time high. It consolidated right here between 63.7 and 64.2. So this became an area of support for Bitcoin. When it was crashing back down, it initially bounced off this level and then went back up, and then we ended up retesting it as resistance twice, and then finally breaking it well, actually we didn't even break it, we've just penetrated deeper into it. So that does give me the indication that this was successfully tested as resistance, which is absolutely great. And then in terms of what's going to be happening next, I would like to see Bitcoin coming down to retest this old area of support. The thing is that right now we're in a stage in this market where extreme euphoria and excitement has not returned to it yet, right? We are not in an extreme excitement phase of this market right now, so this is where I would be expecting healthier price action. And I have great evidence for this, for why I'm saying this, because if you look at this price action right here, it's very strange in my opinion that we established resistance here and we got 1, 2, and 3 hits on this resistance, and then we subsequently had 1, 2, 3 hits of the support. So that's quite a lot that we've come down to this support level to test. That's quite a high frequency in my opinion. I definitely was not expecting that. And that to me, this is where I'm kind of literally reading in between the lines, trying to gauge a sense for where this market is at. This is telling me that right now the intense euphoria and excitement has not returned. This is the kind of analysis that doesn't get looked at because people just don't really know how to analyze characteristics of a trend like this. If you find that useful, this is where I'll urge you again to smash up those likes as you're coming into this live stream. I really do appreciate all of you tuning into this one. It does help the algorithm a lot, so if you do find these kind of little things quite useful, then please do go ahead and make that click. And then in terms of what might happen next, see, that's why I'm saying that I'd like a retracement back down to this area. See, I mean, this was resistance as well. It was an important level for Bitcoin. We can see right here we did get a rejection, and then we nearly came up to these levels, to this level again twice just in the past couple of days. So to see this area flip into support would be absolutely phenomenal. And the reason I'm saying that this looks probable, or I should say possible, is that Bitcoin right now is in a situation where it's forming quite healthy price action. It's coming back down to support areas. It's testing support and then blasting off higher. We're doing sensible, healthy things. We're not in that extreme euphoria mode right now. And usually when we reach those kind of extreme euphoria modes, that's when we get rallies a lot more like, the one that we saw, which I didn't believe in at first right here, which is where I still didn't believe in. I only started to believe in this rally after we broke 47,000, and that's when I turned bullish again. Although to be fair, it wasn't even very late. But that's where, in a rally like this, see, there's just so much excitement that we're not really getting any pullbacks, right? I mean, the biggest pullback was right here, which was about a 6.8% pullback. But other than that, I mean, most of our pullbacks looked something a little bit more like, down by -4% or down right here by -2.5%. You can barely even see it down by -4%. This is just me breaking down for you the sentiment in the market and how that affects the market situation in terms of finding pullbacks. And so the fact that we have had sensible price action recently, to me, gives me an indication that we're actually a little bit more likely to dip down and find support at areas where we should be finding support instead of just constantly ripping back up. And I definitely think we will get to that stage where we are just quickly ripping up. I just don't think that we're there yet. And the reason that I think we're not there yet is well, we are just coming out of this consolidation right now. This is quite a large correction, like I said at the beginning of this live stream. For those of you who did tune in right at the beginning, shout out to you guys. Bitcoin was down by 14%, so that's obviously the biggest correction in this rally, and it's now been 2 weeks. And so this is a fairly sizable correction both in terms of price and time, and where I would expect this extreme bullish sentiment to return back to the market is probably when we start exceeding levels like $65,000. And why is it 65? Well, if you trace this yellow line back with me on the 4-hour time frame, we can see quite clearly at this level, waiting for the chart to load up a little bit. I've got my shisha pipe here, so I've got no problem waiting. This level was the previous all-time high for Bitcoin. We still can't see it because we're loading up the chart, but this is where Bitcoin topped out, bam, right there in April, sorry, not May of this year. We ended up finding a top and crashing back down massively before recovering back into this resistance box, which flipped into support. No surprises there, guys. We were warning you about this on this channel for a long time. We ended up dipping into this box. We did not dip as low as I wanted it to, so unfortunately I didn't get to open that long position that I wanted to open. We actually only came within like $200 of me opening that position. That would have been absolutely huge if it happened, but that's completely fine. One of the things that a lot of people fall into the trap of is they start to overtrade and do stupid things just because they missed an opportunity. That is not something which you should find yourself in, and if you ever find yourself kind of slipping into that, then do try and be aware of it so that you don't end up overtrading and revenge trading just because you missed an opportunity and stuff like that. That's something very important to note. We did, and this is why I think we had the potential to finish this correction, is because Bitcoin had already dipped into this area right here. Now in terms of it rising, like I said, because this was previously the all-time high, and we have, almost no price action above this level, and if we have no price action, that means we have no resistance to expect. There was no opportunity to establish resistance because Bitcoin was only trading at this level for hours in its lifetime. So really not much you can expect, and that's why I'm expecting things to perhaps get a little bit crazier when and if we cross that yellow line. If you're enjoying this, smash this video up. This is a very realistic approach with these markets. I'm not feeding you the hopium. I'm telling you exactly what I'm seeing realistically and explaining why that is. I expect Bitcoin to get a nice run up beyond 65, and purely because we've had this correction now, I don't think Bitcoin would have any problem breaching its new all-time high at $68,000. So I think if we're breaching 65, we're also breaching 68. And if we're breaching 68, that's where the fun starts, because obviously the main idea behind these markets for me, and I've expressed this to you all a lot of times, is that I'm seeing these markets rising a lot after setting new all-time highs, right? When Bitcoin has set an all-time high, gone massively down, come back up to test that all-time high again, and then ends up breaking out. To me, everything that happens like right in between here, this correction when Bitcoin drops from 65 down to 30, that correction is where we are fueling up those jetpacks to start rallying back up again. And if we're able to have enough strength to break the all-time high, then I think we will almost always have enough strength to double the all-time high. And that's what happened every single time in 2017. I'll just give you guys a quick refresher on that right now, because I think it's very important. Let's take you onto a chart where I haven't drawn anything and see what we're seeing right here. I love this, having Shisha on the oh no, this is a made for kids live stream. Awkward. Anyway, take a look at what's happened with Bitcoin previously in 2017. If I switch ourselves onto the logarithmic chart and I move this back, what we're going to see is that every time Bitcoin had broken a previous all-time high, it would double it and, I mean, triple it or quadruple it and so on. And the most, I mean, the most probably famous point, I should say not the most famous point, but the most significant one was when it consolidated sideways right here at $10,000. Now you can't really see this, but if I replay the chart, let's put this on the 4-hour time frame. Now you'll definitely see it. Bear with me while this replay feature ends up loading, and what we're going to see is that on these smaller time frames, Bitcoin didn't necessarily struggle at the $10,000 level, but it did trade sideways a little bit. We did wick above, come back down, so it did act as a little bit of resistance. It wasn't really a situation where Bitcoin got a big correction, so it's not something that I can, you know, draw a huge conclusion based off, but at the end of the day, I gotta reload this. I think the tool just wasn't working properly in this case, but at the end of the day, what that does tell me about Bitcoin is that you know, when it sets the all-time high and for some reason it can't break it, to me that's an indication that if we manage to test it again, we're probably going to be in a pretty good place. And I really want to show this to you, so I'm just going to wait for this thing to load up real quick as we wait for it right here. And actually, let me see if I can just use the go-to feature to make my life a lot easier. So I'll switch this on to 20. Oh, actually, this is just loaded now. Perfect. Okay, so there we go. And I'll replay the chart to just after we set the all-time high so we can see the price action quite nicely. Now I'll zoom in onto the 4-hour time frame and onto the logarithmic scale, and this is where I want to draw your attention to that $10,000 level. So you can see quite well here that Bitcoin hit that 10k level. It actually peaked at about 11.3, but we'll just call this 10 for the sake of simplicity, and from there we had a small pullback down to $8,900, but then we ended up breaking it, and of course we ended up eventually doubling it all the way up to that $20,000 level. Let's take another example now. So take a look at this. Bitcoin sets the all-time high right here at $7,500. It's rallying up very, very nicely. It tops out, consolidates, gets a pullback. When it breaks that 7.5 level, it ends up hitting 14. So another, I'm sorry, 15,000. So that's another example. And again, here's another one. It's almost every time, ladies and gents, that Bitcoin rallies up to an all-time high, if it gets a pullback and then challenges the all-time high again, given enough time to correct, it will probably double that all-time high. And that's what happened, because then we went to $10,000. And so my main point here is that, yeah, and this is me being conservative, is the minimum that we can expect if we've had a good correction and then Bitcoin tries to tackle that all-time high again. Based off what I'm saying right now, the minimum that we can expect, in my opinion, is doubling the all-time high. Hence the thumbnail of today's live stream, $130,000, hence the title, $130,000. I think that with the previous all-time high being 65,000 and the fact that we're really testing it very nicely, not only did we have a large, and a very large, I should say, time frame correction right here where Bitcoin ended up dipping down and coming right back up 6 months later. That's a big correction in terms of price. We went down by more than 50%, and in terms of time, because it took us 6 months. And then we've had another correction lasting 2 weeks. To me, this is telling me that Bitcoin has everything it needs to safely rise higher. Of course, I would have liked to see Bitcoin dip even lower because it would be a great buying opportunity, but the fact that we might not be getting it isn't a deal breaker. And I should remind you all that even though in the short-term charts I've told you that at points I was bearish, the long-term chart has always remained bullish, and it's still really nice the way it is right now. So I am seeing Bitcoin not having a problem breaking that all-time high. But let's zoom back in. I want to talk to you a little bit more about this price action on the short term with Bitcoin. Then I'm going to switch to some of the altcoins. And those of you who have shot me messages on Telegram for this live stream, you guys know how to reach out to me. It's all in the link in the description down below, the first link. You can reach out to me on Telegram if you have any special requests for this live stream, because unfortunately the live chat is not enabled and I'm not able to turn it on while I'm live, so I don't want to end the live stream just for the live chat here. But like I said, I would like to see a little bit of a pullback. This area was good resistance. Look at this green box acting as good resistance for Bitcoin. What a beauty if it ends up turning into support over these next few hours and then allowing Bitcoin to rally higher. I don't think Bitcoin needs to be slow with this, but I would like Bitcoin to just retest some of these levels and reconfirm what we already know should be resistance, and support. And the reason that that's so important in my opinion is that gives a chance for the bulls to establish dominance, and it gives a chance for the bears to show us that actually they've ran out of selling power here. They don't want to sell a lot more Bitcoin, and to me that would be a very powerful sign in this market. So that's what I'm seeing right there. Let's take a quick look at some of the indicators. The 4-hour Ichimoku cloud saves Bitcoin once again. We are now bouncing out of this Ichimoku cloud. We did nearly break it, which was slightly concerning, but I have no problems with what's happening now. Bitcoin has ended up rising beyond it, which is absolutely great. I'm a little bit surprised we did it when support was so weak, but obviously that just means the price was at a breaking point and it chose the upside. It's the same thing with Shiba, where I'll put my hands up right now and say I was wrong. I thought Shiba would get a big breakout to the downside. I still fully expect it, but my analysis was a little bit premature there because the whole market ended up moving up, and I think in large part that was actually probably due to the dollar, although the dollar is up by a fair bit today, to be fair. But in any case, Bitcoin has responded quite nicely to that support on the 4-hour time frame, and then on the daily time frame, its EMA support was also quite good for Bitcoin as well. Take a look at this. We've used some really nice support from the daily EMA ribbon, now bolstering the chart higher once again, which, you know, to me just further illustrates the strength that Bitcoin has behind this rally right here. Smash up the likes if you're finding this useful. Thank you all very much for those of you who've done this already. I want to switch my attention over to some of the altcoins now, because really I've said my main piece about Bitcoin. I think if it breaks the prior all-time high at 65, it's going to do very well. And if it breaks the recent all-time high at 68, then of course I think we'll keep flying. But really I wouldn't expect there to be any more selling pressure beyond 65, other than a potential, you know, small bit of selling pressure around the previous all-time high at 68, just purely because, you know, people might want to take some profits, or that, you know, they might be anticipating a double top, for example, which is definitely possible but highly unlikely in my opinion. Let's take a look at Ethereum here. This has been the star of the show for this market in a long time, for a long time in my opinion. It has been outperforming Bitcoin, as I've been predicting on this channel, as I've been trading you know, inside of VIP. You know, it's been moving very nice with momentum. Take a look at how it's used this daily EMA ribbon right here. Switching on to the 4-hour time frame, we'll get a slightly more intimate look, but for the most part it's pretty much, in my opinion, just doing the same thing as Bitcoin. I think that it's only going to be following what Bitcoin does. I wouldn't be expecting any magic. I think if Bitcoin drops, Ethereum will drop, and I'm actually more keen on trading Ethereum than I am on Bitcoin. The tricky part with Ethereum is that because it's more volatile, I've actually found it quite difficult to find a good entry level for this Ethereum trade. I have been informing VIPs about how that's gone out throughout the the day today because I was very close to entering a trade on Ethereum, and I'm glad that I didn't, purely because I just couldn't find a safe entry. And again, this comes back to how I'm not desperate with my trades. I'm not chasing them. I'm not, jumping from one opportunity to another one like a junkie that can't control himself. If I'm not seeing something absolutely breathtaking and amazing, I'm just not going to bother. And that is the approach that will make you only choose the winning trades, which will prevent you from losing money, and of course maximize the gains that you can enjoy in this market as well. So that's one of the reasons I've been able to do so well despite the market situations that we've had, where it's been very, very choppy, lots of fake outs and things like that, really not losing very much money at all, despite all of those challenges, which a lot of people would not be able to say about their trading performance right here. And actually, wow, a little bit surprising to me now, Shiba has taken a small drop down, really not much at all. It's got a lot of support here. It has a lot of support lining up with this symmetrical triangle right here. I think it had a great chance to break down, but it didn't take that chance. And so to me, the ball is very much back in the court of the bulls. If we have a very bearish pattern like what Shiba did have with that descending triangle, and then if we break that pattern, to me, considering that this is already a bullish trend, that is going to make things, quite significantly more bullish in this market than it was before. And it's just purely this thing of like, look, if there's a great opportunity for the bears and the bears don't take it, well then to me that is going to be a sign that this isn't going to continue, and the ball is going to be back in the court of the bulls, and they're going to be allowed to play their move next and see how high they can take the market. So I'm very bullish on the altcoin market as well, not specifically Shiba. I mean, short term, sure, it can keep rising, but eventually I think it's going to crash way harder than even a shitcoin like Doge. Ethereum and the like, I'm definitely super happy with. Cardano still looks really, really good to me. I mean, I honestly don't know why more people aren't talking about it. It looks to be in a little bit of a triangle continuation pattern before breaking down, but these things also have not a huge chance, but a chance of breaking up. And the fact is, for me, is I think just, if this market turns into a really, really bullish, very, very bullish sentiment again, well then, I mean, we could only be, days or maybe a week or two away from Cardano setting new all-time highs. And obviously from here, that means, like a 50% profit or more in order to, or more than a 50% rise in order to reach that previous all-time high at $3.10. So to me, this would be absolutely huge, and I'm not taking my eyes off these coins. I mean, this is where a lot of people are going to lose their focus. This is where I will have to remind you guys not to lose your focus on the altcoins you like. And just to be clear, I don't like any of these altcoins. I think they're all completely shit, but I'm using them to trade to make more Bitcoin, and that means I won't hesitate to buy Cardano. I won't even hesitate to buy Doge, Shiba, believe it or not. Anything I can to see an easy trading opportunity to just accumulate more Bitcoins is something that I'm always on board with. And what I'm seeing with a lot of these coins is they are just underneath big levels that they could be ready to pop from. So please do keep that in mind if you have any coins that you're interested in and you're starting to lose faith in them. I actually think that now is the time where if I was looking to buy a coin, I would be accumulating while they're so low, because the thing is the best buyers, they're not going to be buying when the markets are sexy. They're not going to be buying when everyone is very, very excited. They're going to be buying when the market is quiet, when nobody really wants to look at it, when it's not fashionable. That's where the money is made. That's where the next 100x, 10x, 5x, 2x gains are made. It's not made when everyone and their nan is already looking at the same coin. By that point, it's probably a little bit too late. So that wraps up most of my altcoin analysis. I'm going to go over to some of your questions if you have them, so please drop them in my Telegram chat now. Otherwise, I'm done with the live stream. So if you have enjoyed this one, then please do smash up the likes and subscribe if you're new to the channel. Unfortunately, this one did have to be quite short, but I'll come back with many more. I'm not seeing many questions at all, and that's probably because I'm just guessing that this live stream isn't reaching a lot of people because I've put it to be set for kids. No idea how I made that mistake, by the way. I've never done that before. I've never even seen this option before, but I'll make sure that that doesn't happen next time. So yeah, I'm just going to wrap it up here. Thank you all very much for watching. You know what to do if you have enjoyed this quick, brief, informative live stream. If you have enjoyed it, smash up the likes, subscribe, tick the bell, do all that good stuff. And guys, just another reminder, in the live stream, in the description of this live stream, I've got a link for you to sign up to Bybit. And the reason that I'm notifying you all about it right now is that if you haven't already signed up, if you use that link right now and sign up, it's going to take you about 1 minute. You stand to gain up to $3,000 in deposit bonuses for free. All you have to do is sign up using my link, make your first deposit. So I'm just talking about clicking your mouse a couple of times, make your first deposit, and depending on how much you deposit, you can be getting up to $3,000 completely free of charge, just credited into your account as a thank you for using my referral link down below. Someone wants me to talk about the crypto ETF. I don't really know much about the ETF news anymore. There's not much I can say beyond the fact that it's going to allow more people into the market, so whatever happens will probably just become even more volatile, whether that means we go up or down. I don't have a strong opinion on what else that could mean, to be honest, because to me it's just not very important, and in my opinion, price action psychology is king, and anything that allows more people access into the market is just going to accentuate and exaggerate those things. So there you go. Hope you have enjoyed this one. Check out the Bybit link if you haven't used it already. If you are in a restricted territory, you will need to use a VPN. That's what I was doing, but I can't recommend it, and I would actually have to say that you shouldn't do it. Anyway, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next